If Jada Pinkett herself called me and said, "Nay, I'll pay you to read my book," would you read it? We would read that mug fast as shit. Man, we would read that book so damn fast it'd be done in a week. And we'd be back on to what we really want to do. Not read Jada Pinkett's books. I haven't had enough coffee yet. So let's see how this video works out for you. After the victory tour, Michael became involved in We Are the World, the historic effort to feed the hungry of Ethiopia. For some time, Harry Belafonte had been making plans to draw together some of the biggest artists in the entertainment business to record a song, the proceeds of which would go to a new non-profit foundation, USA for Africa, to feed the starving masses. While working on We Are the World, Lionel Richie went to Havenhurst every night for a week, where he and Michael sequestered themselves in Michael's room to labor on lyrics and melodies. I bet you that room smelled like corn chips and feet. LaToya told us that Michael Jackson had stinky feet. I can believe that. I really can believe that, because you can't be perfect. Though Michael and Lionel have never said as much publicly, LaToya, who watched the pair work, claims that Lionel only wrote a couple of lines of the song. She contends that 99% of the lyrics were written by Michael, but he's never felt it necessary to say that. The lyrics and the melody were finished on January 21st, 1985, just one night before the recording session. I'm glad Michael didn't feel it was necessary, because it's not. We Are the World is so much bigger than who wrote what. Real talk. As integral as Michael Jackson had become to the process, he was also very much separated from it. Whereas as everyone else present was filmed by 6 cameras as they performed for the We Are the World video, Michael's solo was taped later, privately, and spliced into the final version. The 1986 Grammys set the stage for one of Michael's more bizarre pranks, but one that didn't plan out as he had expected. Y'all, this right here is knocking me out. Frank DiLeo, John Branca, Norman Winter, and Michael Jackson had often discussed the careers of show business icons like Frank Sinatra and the Beatles, and how their representatives were known to sometimes hire teenagers to scream and weep at the sight of them at public appearances. Hysteria does photograph well. Michael always believed that hiring youngsters to holler, faint, and sob was a masterful public relations stroke. Yeah, you won't get a stroke. Have you seen them Michael Jackson concerts? One evening, Michael and Frank telephoned Norman to tell him of an idea. Michael wanted to cause a commotion during the televised Grammy Awards presentation in February. As I move forward, you ninjas better never, ever talk about Will Smithy ever again. But don't y'all ever go in on Will Smithy for smacking Chris Rocky ever again. Because I don't know. I still kind of feel that might be some kind of publicity stunt. I'm like, how the hell they smack the shit out of somebody and now he got a book, she got a book, and now they about to do a book together. What? And is anybody reading Jada Pinkett's book? We not. Listen, those of you who keep dropping down in the comments asking, are we going to read Jada Pinkett's book? No. No. Answer no. You got to be kidding me? No. Bullshit the Baker? No. No. No, we will never read that bitch book. If Jada Pinkett herself called me and said, "Nay, I'll pay you to read my book," would you read it? We would read that mug of fancy shit. Man, we would read that book so damn fast it'd be done in a week. And we'd be back on to what we really want to do. Not read Jada Pinkett's books. One evening, Michael and Frank telephoned Norman to tell him of an idea. Michael wanted to cause a commotion during the televised Grammy Award presentation in February. It had been decided that Quincy and Michael would accept the award if We Are the World won for Record of the Year, accompanied by some of the other participants on the record. It's not known whether it was his intention to do so, but it would seem that Michael wanted to steal a little of Quincy's thunder during the acceptance. He and Quincy always had a strange relationship, symbiotic, but also competitive. Michael's plan was to have a female teenager run out on the stage from the wings and jump him as he stood next to Quincy. Bill Bray's security staff would be ready and waiting to pull the girl off Michael, who would then act surprised and frazzled. Since the Grammys are televised internationally, the whole world would witness this mad scene. The next day, Michael's popularity and the hysteria it had caused at the Grammys would be the subject of worldwide news. The scene caused by Jackson's overwrought fan would probably even overshadow the fact that We Are the World had won the coveted Grammy for Record of the Year. Certainly, Quincy's acceptance speech would be overlooked in favor of Michael's manic adoration. I know, right, Lou? Frank and Norman were against Michael's idea. If word ever got out to the press that the girl who had attacked Michael had actually been hired by him to do so, it would be embarrassing to everyone involved. But it'll never get out, Michael said, enthused. So who do we get? Who can we hire to do this? We Are the World was announced by presenters Sting and Phil Collins as Record of the Year. Michael, who was wearing a black military jacket, red shirt, and red brooch, rose from his seat. Frank, seated behind him, smiled broadly, a cigar hanging from his mouth. Michael then walked up on stage with Lionel Richie. Before long, Quincy Jones, Dionne Warwick, Kenny Rogers, and Stevie Wonder were also on stage. As Quincy gave his speech, Michael nervously rocked from side to side. He kept looking off into the wings as if he was wondering when the girl was going to make her move. Unbeknownst to Michael, the teenager who had full backstage credentials was having a difficult time trying to break through the crowd of people. Technicians, production people, members of the press who had gathered in the wings to gawk at the celebrities on stage. Before the hapless attacker knew what was happening, the speeches were over, and she had missed her moment. The scheme didn't work. What happened? What happened? Michael wanted to know later. I'm standing there, waiting and nothing. When Frank Dilio explained, Michael cracked up into laughter. The joke's on me, I guess, he said. I couldn't even concentrate on what was going on because I'm waiting for this girl to come out and jump me, and she never did. Quincy said I was squirming so much he thought I had to go to the bathroom. Next time, we'll have to plan better, Michael concluded with a wink. Michael, you too old for this bullshit. In June 1986, Michael Jackson underwent another operation to have his nose made slimmer, his fourth rhinoplasty. He also wanted Stephen Hoffman to create a cleft in his chin. I don't know. Maybe he equates that with handsomeness. Ben Affleck. Ooh, Ben Affleck got the biggest chin in the friggin' world. Him and Jay Leno. Oh, and that Natalie Nunn. Oh, my goodness. A woman should not have a chin that big. Carl Burnett's is pretty big, too, but it's not like Natalie Nunn, Jay Leno, and Ben Affleck big. But, you know, Ben Affleck, his chin is considered attractive because it got that dent in it. But I don't know. At 27 years of age, Michael Jackson faced the challenge of recording an album that would top the tremendous success of Thriller Could he do it? Could anyone? In the summer of 1986, when he began working on the follow-up album, which would be called Bad, Michael put himself under enormous pressure. Extremely competitive, even against himself and his own achievements. He felt that if he did not top Thriller's record sales of nearly 38.5 million, he would be perceived as a failure. Moreover, he needed to have success with the single releases. One song planned for the album was a rhythm and blues tinged number intended as a duet. I Just Can't Stop Loving You. Michael had wanted Barbra Streisand to record the song with him, but she turned him down. I can't believe she would turn me down, he said. Doesn't she know that this is going to be the biggest album in history? Michael suggested that my people get back in touch with her people and tell her she's about to make a big mistake. Now, if I was Barbra Streisand, I'd be like, what? A big mistake? Barbara explained she wasn't interested because she was worried that the age difference between them would make the lyrics seem unbelievable. Plus, she didn't like the song. Frank Dilio was unfazed. I knew the song was a hit, with or without Barbra Streisand, he said. Forget her, Michael reasoned. Let's get Whitney Houston. Wait a minute. Was this before or after Jermaine did a duet with Jermaine? Hold on, wait a minute. So you want to wait a minute. Michael Jackson. Was this before or after? If you say my eyes are beautiful, it's because they're looking at you. Was this before or after that? Do you want Whitney Houston because Whitney Houston is the at that time? Or do you want Whitney Houston because Jermaine her at that time? See, Michael, you never know. Forget her, Michael reasoned. Let's get Whitney Houston. However, Whitney wasn't interested either. Yeah, because your brother broke her heart. Believe me, I didn't lose any sleep over it, Frank Dilio said of Houston's decision. Someone suggested Diana Ross. No way. Bad idea. Michael responded straight away. That's because Michael had pissed Diana Ross off. Michael didn't explain that Diana was angry with him for a recent misunderstanding. He had made plans to go to dinner with her at a Hollywood restaurant called Le Dome. However, Elizabeth Taylor telephoned and invited him to a meal that same evening. Wanting the best of both worlds, Michael asked her if she would like to join him and Diana. Elizabeth is like, fuck no, I'm Elizabeth Taylor, one of the most beautiful white women in the world, in history. You think I want to sit at a table with Diana Ross and share the spotlight? Are you crazy, Michael? You lunching. Elizabeth said, okay, well, Diana can meet us. That's what we can do. She can come meet us, but I'm not about to get my Elizabeth Taylor loins and groins and go to sit at Diana Ross's table. You got me messed up, Michael. Elizabeth, who must be the center of attention, accepted his offer as long as Diana met them at the restaurant. In other words, Elizabeth did not want to join Diana's party. She wanted a party of her own. Michael didn't understand the ego game involved in her decision. He just thought she was being friendly. Anyway, the only thing on his mind was how magical it would be to have Diana Ross and Elizabeth Taylor sitting at the same table with him. Once he and Elizabeth arrived at Le Dame, Michael telephoned Diana to ask her to join them there. Diana was not pleased. She had been under the impression that she was supposed to be his date that evening. This is not the way to do things, Michael, she scolded. She told him that the two of them would have to dine some other time and not with Elizabeth Taylor. She was angry, and Michael knew it. She wouldn't return his calls. It wasn't the right time to ask Diana to record a duet with him. Instead, Quincy recruited singer Saida Garrett to do the song with Michael, and it would end up the first single release from bad. For some reason, Michael had his heart set on recording duets for the Bad album, but the plans never seemed to work out for him. While writing the album's title track, he decided he wanted Prince to join him on the recording of it.